Now what I'm going to do right now is just take a look at what I've got in my pants and on my person. And I'm not putting this together. This hasn't been done ahead of time. This is normal stuff that I have with me every day. And we'll just take, I'm not even sure what I've got with me today. You can relate this survival situation as I'm unloading my pockets, sort of to the old term that, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And this is true. And in a survival situation, people kill people. The woods doesn't kill them, they kill themselves. Let's take a look and see what we've got on us. Well, I've got a diamond sharpener here. It weighs almost nothing. I always keep it with me because I've always got a knife with me, always. I've got an older-fashioned cigarette lighter with me. I've got a survival knife that I like a whole lot. It's got one blade, and it's got the saw, the one you saw me work with before. Also got a screwdriver tip on it, sort of nice. A can opener, I don't plan on opening any cans, but something you might want to know right now, this can opener makes a real good dislodging hook to take a hook out of a fish's mouth if it's down, or I should say in his throat, when it's down deep in his throat. I've got some money here. This is really going to do me a lot of good. It's not going to buy me hamburgers and french fries out here, but it makes excellent fire starter, and that's what we'll use it for. And not to mistake this money clip that's on the outside. Nice shiny gold color. This looks like fishing lures to me here in the future. We're getting to the bottom. Got 2 quarters in here. I'm not too sure what we'll do with those, but there's a use. We'll figure them out. I've got a set of keys. I really need these out here. But there's all kinds of hardware attaching these keys together, which I'm sure I'll use. Plus a P38 can opener. I don't know. We'll find out. I also have another knife. This knife here opens with one hand. It's real nice if you injure your other hand. Nothing else in my pockets down there. I've got a Leatherman that I always keep with me. This is something I like to make note of. Of all the tools I've seen, this is one of the most handy for the woods and for everywhere. It's got a nice pair of needle nose pliers. It's got a pair of wire cutters on it. Got serrations in here that we can work a nut or a bolt or whatever we might have to do. The Leatherman is the original inventor of this thing. There's some cheap Taiwanese things out right now. You don't want to get that. You want to get something that's called Leatherman. But this tool I would not be without. Whenever I put my pants on in the morning, this thing is always with me. It's got a metal file and a wood file. Small screwdriver. It's got a large Phillips head screwdriver. All these tools work real well. They don't get worn easily. Got another knife blade. This knife holds an edge surprisingly well, too. It's got an awl for punching into leather or boring our holes in our trees to put sticks in there to make our triggers. It's got a very large screwdriver tip. And there's a medium screwdriver tip in here. So, it's quite a useful tool. I use this almost every day. It's really a nice tool, and it's something you should have with you. As I go through my person, or in my top pocket, I've got a pen. I'm really not sure what I'd use this for, but it certainly looks like a spear tip to me. We could use that, or maybe to write down some information I want to remember on that money. I always keep a safety pin in my pocket, pinned on the inside. There's my fishing hook when I need it, and my rod tip eye. There's another thing that I have here. It's a long needle with an end on it. And it's called a chin. It's an oriental weapon that ladies used to keep in their hair, and they put poison on these things. We talked about poison before. This would make an excellent spear tip, very deep penetration if we're administering poison. It's also good for a whole lot of stuff, and so I keep this with me all the time. But this is just sort of showing you what you can have on your person at the time. These are a lot of tools to work with. I also keep this one particular knife in my boot. It's called an 8er. And this particular knife is really a nice knife. It's made in Spain. Again, there's some other cheap imitations of it. The one you want to get would be an 8er, though. It's almost indestructible. It's a nice skinning knife. It's got a barb on it, as you can see. It's got really nice finger grooves so you can hang on to it. It's not going to slip in your hand. It's got a special setup here where you can work different nuts and bolts if you have to. There's a screwdriver on the end of it. There's a can opener. There's all kinds of stuff on here. What I like about it, as we talked about a spear before, this right here would have lashed on here just like this, and you're all ready to go without finding some bone. You've got a beautiful spear here, which we can poison, which we would poison. So those are the kind of things you'd have on you. Whenever I go deep into the forest, or if I'm flying over the forest, or if I'm flying, or I'm even traveling, I always take this survival kit with me, and it's on me. It's hooks right on my belt, doesn't take up any room. You can see this is pretty tiny. Inside of this kit, I've probably been asked more about this kit than I've been asked about anything. We get letters every day on this. We can just start from one end or the other. There's a knife in here. So now we've got two knives to work with. Any one of these knives could be lashed also to make a spear. We've got a sharpener. This is called an Easy Lap sharpener. It's diamond impregnated. It's really nice. We can use it for a marlin spike, sharpen a knife with it. I've got this wrapped with fishing twine. So this twine is right on here. Makes it real nice. If we take it apart, I can use it as a straw to suck water out of small seeps I normally couldn't get at. There's a flint in here that we can spark now, and we can make happen with any one of our knives, so we can start our fires whenever we want to. In here I've got an old GI match container. It's wrapped with more fishing line. We've got some tape that's holding it together that we can use over again. Inside we've got a special fire starter that we've talked about before, the cotton batten that's soaked with Vaseline, very easy to spark, makes a very hot fire starter. Also in here, we've got a small spool of wire. It's hard to believe all the stuff is coming off of me here. This small spool of wire we can use for trip wire to make a trigger work. We can use it for snares, wherever we have to. Got a small plastic box here, which has got a lot of fishing lures in it and some large hooks. Remember we talked about the gaff and stuff like that? You're going to want to have a couple of those large hooks, a couple of spoons, some small lures in here, a little bit of lead shot. Right in here, we just have, this wouldn't be something you'd have to have. It's nice to have. It's an old broken sawzall blade for cutting metal if you have to. Got a signal mirror in here, nice and bright and shiny. We're going to show you how to use this. Got a ring saw that actually works. This saw really cuts well. We can cut a pretty good sized piece of wood in two with this. We've got twine for securing things together, making our spears and whatever. A few more fishing lures. We've got a couple of snares. Our small snares already made up just for a situation just like this. So that's what you're going to have on you, or something similar to it. And if you've got a survival kit with you, you're in pretty good shape. Again, your attitude, you should start to feel really good about it, because you can do with this amount of equipment, I can stay out here indefinitely, and so can you.